What's that?
That's 50 cents.
That's pretty high.
You're welcome.
I'm not waiting on Trevor because he feels like crap, and I'm not waiting on just
Dead. Think about it.
wasting my time.
But Trevor, I hope you feel better.
No, I wanted to know how long it has been
First place today, guys.
Very
I'm about to
good.
get first place. What you mean?
I'm in fifth.
I'm in second. I'm 1 point behind.
And I'm behind. I'm not even saying
It's going slow.
6 or 7.
I still got it right though.
Put Will at Axel.
I'm 1 point behind.
Thank you.
Hey, stop calling that.
Click! Oh, I swear. Bro, it's not clicking, bro.
You see this?
Yeah, that's why sometimes I have issues with
Ross,
mice.
I'm about to get mad.
They tend to lock up more than the computers do.
It's not right answer.
Wait, what?
Right. Y'all better not go.
That just made me mad. Now it just put me
I'm still 2 points behind.
Sharp edge has to be a wedge. That's my issues with the phone right there.
I took the wrong one.
Sorry, was it click?
All right, a grooved wheel with a rope is a pulley.
Hey, let's go.
A grooved wheel with a rope is a pulley.
I thought it was going to be the orange.
Oh, okay.
What?
Oh.
Come! All right, an inclined plane wrapped around a pole is a screw. Remember, the inclined plane that's wrapped around is what creates the grooves on the screw.
Sure.
I can illustrate that if you want me to.
No. Now I should
I went with the rod.
Right, if I get first place, you should give me like 100 or something.
Oh, well, get first place, get the Kellogg's.
Kellogg's.
Somebody get one wrong. Definitely.
Boss.
If you pick the wrong one, bro, I'm about to
But
be mad.
technically, the wagon
Bro,
can be
he's
a
making
lever
me mad,
because it's
bro.
got the
Relax.
handle, you know? The handle of the wagon? Be a lever.
Yeah, well, I'd rather play on. I'd rather play on.
my goal is just stand time. Wait a minute. I don't know.
A bottle top.
How are you,
Guessing.
That's a trick question.
how are you so confused?
A bottle top.
The top to the bottom, what does it do? It screws on.
Technically,
Oh my God.
technically, it doesn't screw
Yes,
on.
this is the bottle top, and it
Did you at least guess
screws
right?
on.
This is fifth place.
Alright.
I'm in first.
Screws
Jordan,
on.
are you even playing? Yeah, boy, I'm in second place. Pull up.
Oh, snap.
What'd you
Just stop. Just stop.
Right. It's not working, then you don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was fully fifth place.
Yeah, what's the
Okay,
What'd you put?
I accidentally clicked on the wrong.
We live
I was going to. I just clicked it.
Wait, what is it doing now? Oh no.
Doorknob won't open the door.
That's what a doorknob is.
This usually causes issues.
I truly don't know. What
Nah,
is
nah, nah,
his name?
Because people don't know what it's made of.
Nah. I ain't helping nobody out. Yeah,
That's crazy.
I'm still in first though. I won.
I'm still A.
It's wheel and axle. Doorknobs are wheels,
I
and
got
it's
this right
connected by a rod.
on thing yesterday.
Everybody should get that rule. Who's the other person who got it right?
Oh well. Oh well, I was in top 5. I'm ready.
right,
I want a rematch.
I want that. I need to out of that. And
Type shit. Why you making so short? I need to come back.
Because if you don't deserve your comeback, you don't deserve it.
I deserve that comeback.
Obviously. Nah.
I did it. Nobody else but mine.
What?
Mine was the only one tripping.
Can't blame it on that, man.
Huh?
Can't blame it on lag.
I can't. Like you would in Fortnite.
I don't play Fortnite. I don't play
And
Fortnite.
then you get late, bro. And then Call of Duty, bro.
Man, we play Apex.
Yes, I'm level 60 on Apex.
Is it good?
Yeah, the game is great.
What?
Apex.
Is it kind of like Rust?
No,
You know what that is?
not like that.
Man, what's
Is
wrong?
Rust even good, bro?
No.
Is it
It
Rust?
seems like it's lame.
Rust is not good.
It's like it's weak.
But if you get on Rust, it's just a bunch of little kids screaming at you. That's all it is.
But I'm trying to hate bots in Fortnite.
You know how hard it is about Fortnite on the console.
It's way easier to computer.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
No computer.
I remember when we was last year. I went down there to what's his name?
all right, we'll do one
I
more.
don't know his name.
Al.
Yeah. I think it was me.
It was me and like two other people.
Yeah, then we was playing. And then we got second place. I died. Trying to run from storm, you feel me?
When you got second place and you died to the storm.
No, I ain't got from the storm. I failed. Fall damage.
Oh, you
Like, no,
so
I
you
was-
tell somebody else made this one, they're not me. I don't put music in the background.
This is horrible.
Very. See, what happened was, like, I was running, right? I was trying to get out the storm, and I started building up, right? And then I hit a tree. It killed me. Yeah, I don't know what happened. No, it wasn't going fast enough.
I'm expecting some dude to yodel any minute now.
I got you. How do you
I
know?
was so bad, bro.
Mad at what?
I took that fall there.
You just trash.
Better than you,
And that's what the competition began.
I don't know. I got this wrong yesterday.
Right.
though. A stiff bar.
That's what T said.
Let's get him on the Apex now.
All right, why is it 11?
Because it has a stiff bar.
All right, the seesaw is the stiff bar, and the bar that it sits on, that little post that the bar goes back and forth on, is the fulcrum. Okay, it's a long, stiff bar.
It's actually long, stiff wood, not bar.
In the definition. Oh, remember brain pop?
Yeah. My brain popping. That time made me mad because they changed.
Very good.
Really? Well, operate on yours.
Camera face of OB.
Right.
Yeah, I have to remember this.
That's easy.
Room would be easy.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
It's 11, bro.
You look at the picture,
I'll put Will in there.
and right there is the screw.
What if it's talking about the bulb?
It's not talking about the bulb.
You
How you
put
know?
Will in there? Wait, what?
And what represents the force in this picture as well?
Not sure why this one's in the grouping, but
This is like, not even the shoe drop.
Hey.
I was about to put the foot, but y'all kept saying arrows.
Right. I was about to click the there, and I was thinking, a little too deep.
you're talking about that arrow?
Yeah.
No.
You don't see the arrow right now?
No. I see that
She couldn't draw it.
The arrow is just to show where the foot's going.
Nah, the arrow shows that that's
The force.
spinning.
See nobody draw.
You can't just throw the force in
Right. You ain't seen wind drawn?
Yeah, but the
Nah,
arrow's
wait.
just to indicate what the foot did.
No. The arrow is indicating where the foot's going.
Yes, but the foot is what strikes the football, not the arrow.
Right, but the foot wouldn't strike the ball if it wasn't for the arrow.
Whatever.
Or ball. Blue. Good. How get it right and go down?
Of course, I like the way Joseph just yells stuff out and he can play with the rest of us, either on the computer or his phone.
Well, y'all's the first person to answer this one. I remember what's happening.
Now, theoretically, that one had 2 right answers.
What is it?
All right, they were wanting a wedge, which is the better of the 2 choices, but there's really nothing wrong with inclined plane there. Okay, if this was the quiz tomorrow, I would take wedge and I would take inclined plane. There's nothing wrong with either answer. And I may move the quiz, since so many of you will be out tomorrow, to the next day. Because we will have done everything that's on it today or tomorrow. So you'll be good.
Right, it's a fulcrum. That's obviously a lever. It's a plane.
What is the part sticking out of the wheel?
Yeah. Yeah. Slow.
The axle is sticking out of the wheel. It was a wheel and axle. This one usually covers issues.
No way you actually.
That's a good next hole.
It's a lever, bro. Look. What even is that?
Pencil sharpener. It's an old one. Kind you got to use manually. It's a wheel and axle.
What did I get clear?
The sharpening port is a wheel, and it's got a rod that runs through it.
Oh, snap. This one could be 2 different.
Yes, it could. I wanted you to pick a wedge because what is an axe used for?
Cutting.
Cutting thing. It's got a sharp edge.
So
Now, there's nothing.
that's-
Now, if I gave you this tomorrow, I would take both of those answers. I would not mark it wrong if you put lever. But when they're giving you a multiple choice like that, they generally want you to pick the wedge because it's a sharp edge. But I would not mark lever wrong tomorrow if that was on the quiz. These are for response on the quiz. Okay, I would give you credit for both.
Why can't I just have both?
What's the difference between what? Nothing.
Oh, no. Yeah.
What is the load of the ring? Oh, I didn't read
Play on words for the Lord of the Rings.
I'm tired of this.
All right.
Hey, I got 2nd place. How'd I come back from like 8?
The pencil is the fulcrum because it's the pivot point on the stiff bar.
Did
they even
say anything?
Most of y'all just looked at it and said, oh, it's a lever, and clicked lever. But they were asking you what the pencil represented, which was the fulcrum. Okay? All right. If you will, put your phones up and grab your, you're going to need a calculator today. You're going to need your notes, and you're going to need your orange cards, your reference tables. We're going to learn 3 formulas today. And they're the same 3 formulas we're doing tomorrow, except that we're doing it with levers tomorrow instead of inclined planes. Can you do what?
Buy your stapler.
Can you borrow it? Yeah.
Hey, can I use one of the orange cards?
Yep. They're on the red tray up there by the door.
That's it.
Some other Mexico.
That's it.
I'll pick it. Oh, I grabbed one. Hey, all ready?
Chemistry the same thing as biology.
What's the difference?
The stuff that we'll do at the end of the year, to the end of this course, the last 7 to 8 weeks, that's like the periodic table, parts of the atom, naming, bonding, that kind of stuff. That's chemistry.
Thank you.
Anything with living science and chemistry. Everything's dead.
Salute.
Salute.
You better not say bless her in this climb class, she gonna get mad. Say what? Say, if you say bless her in that climb class, she gonna get mad.
Right.
She gonna say, you gotta say salute.
Right.
She be
You say
like,
Africa class, she gonna be like, watch your favorite team. Right. I'm gonna go in and be like, hey, you got that math homework? What is she gonna say?
she said she was gonna write me up for saying that.
I wish.
Were
wish
you in there?
would.
I was in there with you. When
I wish Miss Khan would, man.
The only thing I'd say to that is you got no chance of being punished.
Right. I wouldn't care if she did.
For saying that.
I can't get in trouble for that.
All right, so
I remember one time in 7th grade. I got ice
Is this no?
yes,
I'm just asking.
And where do you remember that? What? In 7th grade when
Did you say it like that? Yes, Caesar.
Oh yeah. I got
so what types of machines can be classified as levers and inclined planes? So we talked about the 6 types of machines. All 6 types can be grouped as either levers or inclined planes. So the other 4 fit in those 2 categories. So think about it. I think it's easier to do the inclined planes. Okay? Stop mimicking me. I feel like I'm at home again. So we just need Jose to do it, and I feel like I'm really at home. I'm telling you, we just need to give you blonde hair and shave the beard off. I feel like I'm at home. He's just not old enough to have a beard yet. But the black Adidas pants.
How old is he?
13.
Y'all going to Wake City Middle School?
No, he goes to Tyrone Middle.
Ew.
So you
Why?
Ew. Don't bring him down.
So how long is that from here? Like 30 minutes?
11 miles.
Wait, so like,
Okay, that rest is over there.
Telling you, the way he sits in the chair, he's got his feet propped up, the whole rolling his eyes at me. Telling you, he could be my son. You just need to get him blonde hair. He's even got, short hair on the sides and more on the top. You got to get rid of the beard.
I know.
And blonde hair.
I'm glad you're not one of the parents over there, because the parents are rude too.
Telling you, you can be him. You just need to change your name to Ian.
Yeah, I went to my brother's school and almost fought the principal. The back's off.
Oh,
My kid.
and he'll be in high school.
Yeah,
Sure. All right, so think about the other 4 types of simple machines. All right, which one do you think could be an inclined plane?
what you mean?
All right, so we have 4 other types of simple machines, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we have, I'll just write them in the middle. We have a wedge, we have a screw, we have a pulley, and we have, I forgot one, wheel and axle. All right, those 4 can either be classified as a lever or an inclined plane. Okay? So thinking about how we describe them, all right, which one or which category do you think they fit in? Do you think they're an inclined plane or do you think they're a lever?
Incline plane.
All right, which one is an inclined plane?
Wedge.
All right, a wedge because it has a slanting surface and it's got a sharp edge, but the fact that it's got a slant is an inclined plane. Okay, so that one's out. All right. What else do we know? A screw is an inclined plane because it's an inclined plane wrapped around a pole. So a screw is also an inclined plane. Now, if those 2 are my inclined planes, what does that mean about the pulley and the wheel and axle? They're levers. That's why I said I think it's easier to do the inclined planes because once you know the 2 that are the inclined planes, you know the 2 that are levers. Does that make sense? Okay. Do I have what? Yeah, there's that red tray up there.
Oh my gosh, I'm 2:30.
Oh my God, I know. We've only been reviewing from yesterday to make sure everybody was together with us.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Yeah, it is.
It felt like it.
We know where
Why
we're
would you
going.
ever student in this class?
Boston.
Okay, so you do know where we're going. Well, there's no need.
What'd you say? I said to get the card up there out of the red basket. Oh, okay. Then what did Nigel say? What did you say?
He said, who's your favorite?
I said, who's your favorite student in the class?
Yeah.
He said, go to the
She said me.
What happened?
He's like, none of y'all. All right. Skipping that. We did that. We're good on that. All right. We're going to calculate IMA, AMA, and efficiency today. All right. IMA is ideal mechanical advantage. Okay? Now, this is the definition for IMA. Now, the nice part about IMA today and tomorrow is you'll only have to write this definition one time. The definition doesn't change. The way we calculate it changes in terms of how the pictures look, but the formulas don't change either. So IMA is a simple machine would be considered ideal if it had no friction. So I need you to remember that IMA is about calculating with no friction. Okay? Some of the effort that's put into a machine is wasted in overcoming friction. Okay? Now, thinking about this logically, do machines have friction?
Yeah.
Yes, all machines have friction. We cannot get away from friction. So we're going to be calculating a mechanical advantage that says there is essentially no friction. So this number that we're calculating is a made-up number. It does not exist. Okay? So, this number is always, you're going to hear me say this many times today, this number will always be bigger than the AMA we're going to learn to calculate in a little while. Okay? Because this number, we're going to assume has no what? We're going to assume it has no friction. We're going to assume this machine is perfect, that it has no friction. Okay? Are machines perfect?
No.
No. Okay? That's why we always add what to our motors? We add oil so that they lubricate and all the parts turn without a grinding sound, and they are allowed to slide against one another without getting hung up. That's why sometimes people have major engine issues because they don't, A, change the oil regularly, or they don't have enough oil in their cars, or God forbid they let the oil run out of their cars and their engines lock up, okay? The parts can't turn and move against the other parts, and they come to a grinding halt. Once that happens, the only way to fix it is to do what to the engine? Replace it. It's toast, right? And that's many thousands of dollars. So the way you keep that from happening is you keep the oil clean by replacing it, making sure it's full, and you do that. Most new cars now go about every 5,000 miles. Older cars usually about every 3,000 miles. You change the oil.
What happens
Well, how much does it cost to change oil?
You change the oil, you can usually get it done for about $30.
Over?
Yeah.
So why people don't?
Change the oil, they just forget or don't do it. Some people just don't check. Older cars tend to leak oil, so you just have to check the dipstick and make sure it's up between the full line. And if it's not, then you just pour some oil into the car. It's not hard to do. You just have to check it periodically.
Oh, I thought it would come about $100 something.
No, it's not hard. So you just have to do it to maintain the maintenance of the vehicle. Right? You can have cars that go 100, 200, 300,000 miles, or 300,000 miles. I mean, my mother-in-law is driving I think it's a 2005 Mercury Mountaineer. Yeah, it's a Mercury Mountaineer. It's like a Ford Explorer. It's not very big. It's like, I mean, she's got 300,000 miles on that thing. And they service the oil regularly. So her engine is doing fine. She's replaced the transmission, and I don't think and other than tires and brakes, I don't think they've done anything.
Doesn't it cost a lot? Brakes.
Depends on how bad she is on brakes. I would wonder if she's a little bad on brakes. She's one of those that stops the gas pedal and hits the brakes pretty hard. But you know, if you're not rough on brakes, then you don't even have to do that very often. I'm not rough on brakes. I rarely have to have a brake shop.
I got one question.
What?
How do you get more miles? But it's right. Couple miles.
So you get miles by driving. The more you drive, the more miles you get.
Also, I thought like it based on the miles.
Well, if you buy it brand new, it has very few miles, whatever has been driven like in the dealership. So, you know, when people test drive it, it's usually all the miles it has. So if it's a brand new vehicle and no one's test driven, it probably has very few miles on it, maybe 10 or 12. You know, when I bought my new one, it had like less than 100 miles on it because it hadn't been test driven very much.
So the miles, it just don't know about the miles. But did it come into the pay?
It depends on how many miles it has. Now, a brand new car, the miles it has will be less than probably 200-300 miles. If you buy a used car, then it's going to depend on how many miles it has and how much you pay for the car, because its miles factor into what it costs. Low mileage vehicles cost more than high mileage vehicles.
So high mileage is like?
Depends on the year of the car. High mileage vehicles will cost less than low mileage vehicles. Cars that have less miles on them cost more money than low mileage vehicles, because low mileage vehicles are cars that people want more than high mileage vehicles. People don't want a high mileage vehicle because that means you're going to have to pay more to maintain it. Its brakes are going to be going bad more often. Its engine might need to be replaced sooner. Its transmission might be wearing out sooner. Okay, so people don't want to buy a high mileage vehicle.
Get a stick shift. Don't get all of it.
No.
Yeah, stick shift. Stick shift.
No.
Some people like stick shifts. I drove one for years. So I drove one. Well, I got a bigger vehicle for car seats than that. And that's when I traded out automatic. For an automatic.
Stick's too much work.
What kind of stick shift did he have?
You gotta use one hand. You got.
That's what I just want to put in it, drive and just
Get going. You feel me?
Never mind, it's right driving. What was your question?
It's cool to do burnout.
Yeah,
I had a question.
I thought you did a second ago.
I do.
What was
What kind of car did you have?
At the moment, I have a,
No, I meant like your stick shift.
my stick shift was, the last one I had was it's kind of old at this point because I haven't had one in years, a 94 Cavalier. I told you I haven't had one in years.
You said the 94?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, I've had an automatic for a while. Yeah. Now, when you look at the formulas, this is our formulas, it's coming off our reference table, okay? We're calculating IMA today. IMA is effort distance over resistance distance. Now, because we're going to do inclined planes, we're only doing inclined planes today, all right? All right, we're doing levers tomorrow. The length of the ramp, okay? So this is the length. Let me change colors, because we're going to talk about this all day today, okay? This right here is length. So this is height. All right, length and height. So the length of the ramp is effort. And the height is resistance. That's the piece you have to keep straight today. If you can keep that straight, the math calculations are easy. Okay? That's what will bog people down. The effort is the length. The height is resistance. If you can get that, we're home free. Okay? So instead of having to write this long formula out, the shorthand that's on your reference table or on your orange card is this. IMA equals DE. D stands for what? Distance. The little e is not a variable that we're going to plug in. The little e is to remind you that it's effort. Okay, effort distance. Divided by dr. DE is distance effort. dr is distance resistance. Okay? Everybody good with that? All right, so if we look at a problem, okay, let's say that we're trying to move this box up the inclined plane. Okay? We got to move that box from the bottom floor to the top floor, and we're using a ramp. Okay? Who was it yesterday that told me they had, maybe it was Denori, told me they had their dad had something, they moved up ramps, 4-wheel or something. Joseph stopped. All right, anyways, let's say we have to move this box into the back of the pickup truck, and we're using a ramp to get it up there. Okay? So we have DE over DR. Now, am I going to show this labeled this way on the test? Of course not. No. Okay? This is just to help us keep it straight in our minds. All right? So, when you see an inclined plane, you have to remember that this is the length, and so length is always effort. And this is height, and so height is always resistance. So if that's length and that's height, how do I find IMA? We are going to divide. All right, so to find IMA, okay? Ooh. So to find IMA, it's DE over DR. So what's the effort? 15 meters over, what's the resistance? 12 meters. Now, when you divide 15 by 12, we get 1 point something. 1.2? All right. So, once we get the 1.25, what happens to the 2 meters when we divide? They cancel out. The nice thing about IMA and AMA is they have no units.
Great.
Okay? There are no units if you're calculating IMA or AMA. Okay? They cancel out. I know, I'm trying.
Wait, so what would you say, like 1.25 IMA?
1.25, that's it. It has no unit. Now, if you were calculating the distance, what are the DEs or the DRs, what unit would you put on the distance? You'd put the meters.
Why doesn't it have a unit again?
Because the 2 meters do what to each other?
Oh, they cancel out.
They cancel out. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Actual mechanical advantage. All right. Actual mechanical advantage. Account for the friction. Okay? So these machines, thank you for swearing back there. We appreciate that tremendously. All right? These machines have friction. All right? So if these machines have friction, all right, they will have a lower mechanical advantage.
You don't like customers well?
Yeah, I'll be the first to tell you that I swear regularly. However, I don't swear in class. I need you to adhere to that same rule.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but you ain't supposed to be like, shut the oh, I'm trying to watch my dang on TV.
You like watching TV when it's
Oh,
what?
your son was
Mom.
No, my son is a typical middle schooler. You remember what you did in middle school?
no. I tried to.
I knew. I was a bad one.
I was in my room.
There, what was that? Say that again. Say that again.
I was in my room.
That's where he's at all the time.
That's where I'm at.
I would.
He doesn't come out and interact with the rest of us. So I don't have to talk to him very often.
I was in my room.
It works for me.
You said I got that in the living
I don't
room.
have to
I was watching my phone videos.
Yeah, that's him. All the time.
You got a game. You got a game.
Yeah.
What do you got?
He likes to play Roblox. He likes to build things. I mean, he's not really into a lot of the other stuff.
Like, does he use a computer?
Yes.
What Roblox on then?
If he get on Fortnite break, he can be wrong.
And he's not into that one.
One day he will be.
It's possible.
One day.
I mean,
Everyone will come around.
I mean, it's gonna burn out
Wait,
eventually.
no.
Okay, Craig.
He's gonna get to Fortnite when he get in.
Yeah, when he getting out there, I'm like,
If it's so popular.
skins.
That's what
He gonna change when he get the highest.
Well,
Oh yeah,
he's got no place to go but up.
girlfriend.
Got no place to go but up.
Oh yeah, by the time he
That's boring.
junior, he gonna have kids on him.
I'd rather move over my car, but he'd break something and I don't look good in prison stripes.
Wait, what? Can I get some water?
She said she
Yeah, you have some water. All right. So, ideal mechanical advantage calculated without friction. Okay. This is going to calculate with the assumption that we have friction. Now, the difference in AMA is this time we're going to calculate with a force. All right. So, this is going to be resistance force over effort force. So IMA was about distance. AMA is about force.
Hey, this one, you got a highlighter?
Yeah, over there, I think. Let's see what I got over there.
In there.
All right, so AMA's formula is FR over FE. Got that top drawer. Let's see what I have. Drawers.
Just pens and things.
Guess what?
Just pens and things.
No highlighters over there.
Found one.
I thought I had some in there. All right, so let me point this out to you. If you look at the formula we wrote for IMA,
Excuse me.
yeah, throw it out. Throw it away if it doesn't work. Why are you throwing stuff at him? Here, try this one and give it back to me when you're done.
Pull up on my block and I believe
Now,
it's,
tell me what's different about this one that we're doing now and this one that we just did. What's different about the one we did a minute ago and the one we just wrote down? Now look at the two formulas. Tell me what's different.
Yes.
The R is at the top.
All right, so the effort and the resistance are what to each other now? They're switched, okay? So on IMA, effort is on the top, and on AMA, effort is on the bottom, okay? So they're opposites of each other. Everybody see that in the formula?
Yeah.
Okay. Does everybody have the formulas? Yes?
yes.
Okay. So, and you don't have to draw the scales. Just draw like a,
This class is going
a box.
I should know it, man.
I don't care. You don't do anything when you're here anyways.
Oh, that's now you got caught
At
out.
least I pay attention, right?
Some days are better than others.
Right.
Earlier part wasn't too bad. Now you're just into complaining.
Yeah, today's just not.
Okay.
Maybe tomorrow. Actually, no, tomorrow I might not even be here. Because I might not come.
Are you testing tomorrow?
Yes, but I don't feel like.
So you're supposed to take the ACT.
Yeah, but that's just too long for me to be sitting down in the chair.
Okay, so you're just not going to come tomorrow. So you're going to wait on Miss Henson to spring it on you on the day you happen to show up so she can corner you and go, Joseph, you're coming to take the test today.
No. Because it's not happening.
So you're just going to play hooky the rest of the week and the next week so she can't catch you?
Yeah.
Okay. She will catch you.
No, she gotta have to chase me.
Okay. You coming tomorrow, Jose? Okay. You going to take the test? Okay.
Are these gonna be on the notes tomorrow? Are they gonna be on?
They're the same notes except it's with a lever. All right. Yeah. So AMA is calculated with force. That's the only thing that makes us different. We're doing the exact same thing except it's with force. Okay? So AMA has a formula of F resistance over force effort. So what is the resistance force? How much does this box weigh? That's resistance. All right, the box weighs 35 newtons. Over what you have to do to push it up that inclined plane is your effort. So what do you have to do to push it up the effort? That goes on the bottom. Now, just like a minute ago, 35 divided by 15 is what? 2.3? Now, again, just like a minute ago, what happens to the 2 newtons? All right, so AMA has no unit. No unit. Okay? So, resistance force is always the weight, and the effort force is always what you do. If you want some different words to go with what those things mean, okay? So resistance force is like what the box weighs. And then effort force is what you do, what you have to do to move the box. Okay, you don't need to write that math stuff. We already did it. What? Yes, it is. You don't have a ghost.
I don't know that.
All right.
I'm pretty sure.
Can't see.
You know, they say ladies can see.
All right, the last thing we're going to calculate today is called efficiency.
Finally.
All right, efficiency. All right, a machine multiplies force to determine how effective it is. All right, if we knew that a machine was only 20% effective, would we use a machine that was only 20% effective?
No, it depends. Only need 20%.
Okay. I'm not using any kind of machine that's 20% effective. I want a machine that's at least 80% effective or 75% effective. I'm not doing anything that's only 20% effective.
Right,
It's a waste of my time.
Like an iPhone 6.
That's right. That's right. I was cleaning out some drawers the other day because I bought a new filing cabinet. I found an iPhone 4 box. My son was like, "Mom, do you still have the iPhone 4?" I said, "I don't, but Dad probably does somewhere." So he went digging through a drawer and found the thing. He keeps hauling it around going, "Look at this dinosaur." So he has it sitting on a shelf now as a relic up there. I think he's going to put it in some kind of gloss just so he can hang on to it. He's like, "Do y'all have an iPhone 3? I was like, "No, I don't have a 3. The 4 is as old as we have." I think I was a BlackBerry user back then. Huh? Yeah, I had one back then. All right, so when we calculate efficiency, I'm going to let you write on your orange card, which is why I told you to get it out. Okay, I'm going to let you write a formula on it. Your orange card has this formula. Okay, efficiency equals work out over work in times 100. It does not have this formula on it, but I'm going to let you write this formula because we're going to use this formula in class. Okay, so I want you to write AMA over IMA times 100. If you find where it says efficiency on your orange card, it's down at the front, the bottom. Okay? Write it out there beside efficiency so you have it. Right beside efficiency. AMA over IMA times 100. Find where it says efficiency. And write the formula. Don't ask me on the test because I won't remember. I will, I just won't give it to you. Okay? Everybody got it on the card? Did you write it, Malik? Okay. Jose, did you write it?
Who wants to
Eduardo, did you write it down? Okay. Nigel? Liliana? Did you write it? Derek, did you write it down? The formula. Did you write it on the card? Yeah. Okay.
Wait.
Remember, are you going to keep the card for the test? Write it down. All right. I think that's all I need there. Everybody got it? Now the challenge is not to lose the card. All right. Write that problem down, and we're going to talk about how to do it. Well, this problem has 3 problems in it.
Why does it matter what you use?
Because we got to calculate AMA, IMA, and efficiency.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Progress. I will call you back.
All right. AMA, IMA, and efficiency. Did you write it down? Jose, write it down. If I walk over there and you don't have it written down, I'm going to push you out of that chair. Huh? I'm talking about the problem on the board. I know you got the formula written down. You already answered that question. Say what?
You have to write it.
It's a different problem. I strongly recommend it.
Man, you have no problem.
It's not time to leave yet. You have 50 minutes before you get to leave the building.
50 minutes? You said 50 minutes?
I'm talking to her. Y'all have 20 minutes to lunch.
Oh.
She's talking about her 50 minutes till she gets on the bus.
Oh, you 50. Wait. 50 minutes.
She's leaving early for the basketball game.
Oh, I guess I'm leaving too.
Why are you the basketball manager?
We're playing basketball with the whole team right now.
Boy, no. Y'all not coming with us?
But we going to the playoffs. You tripping?
Okay. Yeah, they're going. Y'all better go with them.
Ready?
All right. So to calculate this, we have to calculate IMA, AMA, and efficiency. So how do we find AMA? What have we learned today? All right. So AMA, for those of you who are not with Derek, I think that's whose voice I heard. All right. We have to do force, resistance over force, effort. So this is the part, for those of you who don't pay attention, gets tricky. You have to make sure you pick a force number. So what are the forces? They have to be newtons, right? So 150 is our weight of our box. So 150 over what effort are we using to drag that sucker up the ramp? 45 newtons. So 150 divided by 45 is what?
3.3.
3.3? Thank you. Everybody with us on that?
Money.
All right, so IMA is distance effort over distance resistance. All right, effort is always the what part of the ramp?
The top.
the length, right? The slant. So our effort, it was 12 meters because I want the distance, not the newtons. And then the resistance is the 3 meters. So that's going to be 4 because the meters cancel out. So to calculate efficiency, I take my IMA over my AMA over my IMA. So my AMA is what? 3.3 divided by my IMA, which is 4. And I didn't write it on the board with the formula, but times 100. Efficiency is always times 100 because it's a percent. It's 83%. That's the only thing that has a unit because it's a percent. Okay? You with me?
So that's just going to be.
Yep.
This is not that hard.
It's not hard. The only thing that's hard is you got 3 different questions. All right?
It's about to be
It's just time, bro.
I'm gonna
Alright.
breeze.
Why on earth are you walking in the door like a nut? Don't come shake my hand. Just go sit down.
Bro, what?
Just go sit down. All right. So the last question I want to work. Think.
Oh,
Man, let me just tell you. That jump was, man, what, boy? And then the science part, it was like talking about Jupiter's moon, and then they gave me a diagram. It was like, how many solids are in the depth of the blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know this, bro. We ain't never learned this. Looking at me like,
we did that.
You're supposed to read the chart. Now, write this one down. This one's different.
We did it.
We did this with her. If you guess the gap.
Just write it down.
We did it.
Just write it down.
Oh, where we at? You doing notes?
Oh my god.
Are you gonna do the same ones tomorrow?
Oh, never mind. Let me leave. My bad.
Now he's doing completely different problems.
Everyone chilling in the courtyard.
So go chill in the courtyard.
Yeah, I'm gonna go chill. My bad. I came in here because I was ready to learn. But if I'm doing this tomorrow, you feel me?
Doing different problems tomorrow.
We're learning the same thing.
Still,
Different problems.
same thing, right? Exactly. All right, see you. Take care. Love you. Bye.
You're supposed to say I love you back.
All right, she didn't say that.
One should mean it if one's going to say those things.
You know what? That's on me tomorrow. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna chill in the courtyard.
Can I go chill in the courtyard?
You haven't had
Alright.
it.
So tell me which formula we're going to use to solve this. Which formula are we going to use to solve this question if you see it on the test?
Oh wait, no.
He said, hey, he said,
Alright, so did I give you IMA or AMA here?
No.
I didn't give you IMA or AMA here. Alright, and this is the one that I'll be the first one to tell you I have the hardest time teaching the students because I'm not good at communicating how to tell if work in or work out is done. Okay? When it says you do or the lever does, I have no good way to explain to students how I know which one is which. I've done this 20 years and I've never managed to find a way to explain it in a way students understand.
Well, explain it to how adults understand.
I can't even explain it the way adults understand. So this is the best way I have figured out how to do it in all these years. So when you look at your formula, which one's on top? Out over in?
Yeah.
Look at the sheet and tell me.
Oh, that says whoa.
Out again.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
W out over W in?
Yes.
All right. So what do we know about efficiency and equaling 100%? Does the 100% have to be greater than or less than 100%? Less than 100%, right? We all know that from math class. We're not going to have a machine that's greater than 100%. So when you plug in your numbers, what has to be on top? The smaller number or the bigger number in order to get less than 100%? The smaller number has to be on top. So this will always be the small number divided by the big number times 100. Okay? That's the only way you can get less than 100%. You can't get less than 100% if you do it the other way. So the work out has to be less than the work in. Because if the big number's on top, you're going to get a greater than 100%. The machine will do more than 100% of the work. Okay, mathematically, when you divide. So if, let's just say we put this in. We would have 45 over 50 times 100. Okay, so if you punch that in your calculator and you say 45 divide 50, you get 0.9. And then times 100, you get 90%. But if you flip it the other way and you say 50 divide 45, you get 1.11. And then you say times 100, you get 111%. Is a machine going to do 111% of the work? No. That's why you know it's always going to be the small number on top divided by the big number. You know, you can't. You can't have that big number on top because you're not going to get a percent greater than 100. Okay? And that's the best way I can explain how to do that with that work in and work out equation.
That's not.
Okay? Yes, you can have some water. I don't want you to be dehydrated over there. All right. We're going to do these questions. And that's it. Bro. No, just answer them. You got samples.
Write the answers.
Really? You think I just want you to look at them? Okay, I know the answer. I'm good. Yeah, I want you to write down the work and the answers. You don't have to write the question. I just want you to do the work and the answer on your paper so I can walk around and help those who need help. Really? Can I do that?
Work.
Make sure y'all take typhoid trouble there when you
Say what?
typhoid trouble.
Have you ever seen Kung Fu in one of the time festivals?
All right, who has a question? Yeah. All right, so when you look at this, all right, so number one,
Oh, yeah, I'm confused.
all right, so you got a ramp, okay, and you know that the ramp is 4 meters high. So I'm telling you the ramp is 4 meters high. I'm asking you to find this. And I'm telling you IMA equals 2.5, right? So you're going to set up, that's not what I wanted. IMA equals DE over DR, right? Well, I'm asking you to find the effort because I'm asking for the slant. Does that make sense? So I've given you IMA is 2.5. The resistance is 4. You're looking for the effort. That's the formula. Whoops, too far. Does that make sense? Or no? No?
I'm thinking we should multiply. Keep stacking it.
You should. Because IMA is 2.5. We want the effort because that's the slant. And the resistance is what? The resistance is 4. So what would you do to solve? Cross multiply. Yeah, that's what you're right.
You looked at me like I was.
No, well, you said cross multiply. I nodded yes. You just didn't see me nod yes.
Sure? He was like, you sure?
Right.
No.
You sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?
I am sure.
She is sure.
All right, find me number 2.
That's all we gotta do for that one.
That's all you got to do for that one.
Wait.
I'm asking you for IMA. So you might have extra information in number 2 that you don't need.
I am a men's kitty.
Okay.
I need you.
I don't.
What do you need? He said he needs you. We need.
Oh.
So we find that.
Oh, wait.
Which piece don't you need?
What's in a trash and stuff?
Correct.
Wait, it's right.
But the club, and then we went out. Wait. So
Catch kid.
shit? How do you know which one?
Oh, wait, so which one's the effort?
Wait. Oh no, it's 30.
Yep. All right, so in the second one, for those of you who are like, I don't know what this graduate wants me to do. All right, we're looking for IMA, right?
Yeah.
So IMA is what formula? DE over DR. So which one of those is not a distance? Newtons, right? We don't need that. We're not going to use that number at all. It's a Newton. It's a force. We don't use it. The only two numbers we need are this and this. So which one is the length of the ramp? Which one is the effort, the 30 or the 5? The 30 meters goes here, and the 5 meters is there. So which one is the DE? This right here is the DE. That 30 is that. So that goes on top. Over was the resistance, the 5. So you get what? 6. That's number 2. All right, try number 3. Something tells me tomorrow I'm going to be redoing this with the group that's not here.
Because you are.
Give it as much trouble as y'all are having with this.
Wait.
Yeah, do it. Full time.
Say what now?
Number 4. Wait. That's there.
Yep.
Give me
Wait.
During all 3 problems, so you find.
like a toe.
So you want us to follow 3? Or just
You want efficiency, so you got to do IMA, AMA, and efficiency.
Oh, okay.
All right, so what do we do in number 3? Do we divide what?
800 over 1500.
800 over 1500, and then do what? Times 100. What'd you get?
53.
Yeah,
53%. You doing anything, Jose? No. Derek's playing on his phone.
Do you always have to
I watch so much.
Yes, anytime you do percent, you always multiply by 100. All right, how do we find AMA in number 4? What's the formula for AMA? Okay. FR over FE. All right, so when we look here, what is the FR? What's the resistance? How much does the box weigh? What's the weight of the box?
800.
See how it says we use 35 newtons?
Yeah.
That's the effort. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Okay? So 35 is the effort. Okay? So what is the weight of the box if that's the effort?
The other number.
The other number is what? That's the resistance.
Wait.
So what do you get when you say 250 divided by 35? All right, then that is your AMA. There's your Newton's canister. Okay.
Wait a minute. Before you do the next one, come here.
Now, what are you supposed to do in number 5?
All three.
You got to do all 3 of them. You got to find IMA, AMA, and efficiency. $350 over 25. Okay. And then 15 divided by 5 would be 3. So it would probably come out to some really jacked up number. Because you're going to have 14 divided by 3, which is going to be some really weird number. Yeah. I know. So it's number 466. It's going to be a number 5 is going to be some really weird number. I messed that up. 466%. Yeah, it's going to be a really bad number.
Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So for those of you who actually did 5, you would have 350 divided by 25, which was, what'd you say?
What is that?
And it would be Nigel playing with his tuning forks. 350 divided by 25 is what? Did you say 14? Yo, what'd you say? 14?
Yeah.
All right. 15 divided by 3. 5 was 3. So it'd be 14 over 3 times 100, which is going to give you a really jacked up percentage. All right. Put it up.
Clean up.